It's time to rock and roll. Boom, boom. It's Friday, the start of the long weekend. You know, I sit down here every single day and it's like, I get this energy. It's like, oh, we're going to go live. I send a text to Jimmy, like, all right, buddy, let's rock and roll. I sit down with my folks in the green room before the show starts. And it's, you know, Nation, if you make a podcast, we got a guest coming up on the show today, Antonique Vincent, who makes a podcast. If you do a podcast, there's this energy when you sit down in front of the microphone and you're like, oh, I just can't wait to start talking. Then I'm telling you, Nation, you put this onto a live stream and the energy goes even higher. So don't be intimidated by the live stuff. Just get in front of the microphone and start talking. That is how we bring it here. We drop Monday to Friday, 8 o'clock Eastern time, the morning show, Mornings in the Lab, myself, Keith Bilous, C. Marty Fit, John Anderson. I'm just the conductor today with my fingers all over the air. It's funny, I'm feeling a little bit tired today, even though I don't think I'm tired, but maybe I'm feeling tired. We got John joining us in a moment, Marty joining us in a moment, Antonique Vincent. This is the only morning show, Nation. The only morning show, that one right there. The only morning show where we have a mission to help you guys, you girls, to get your ass out of bed in the morning. So if you're laying there, you got your phone in your hand, you're considering doing nothing right now, I'm going to encourage you to do something. And if you're a SMART goal person, you want to tune into today's show, because if you have SMART goals, you're failing. SMART goals are nothing but failure goals. They're a path to 1980. They're a path to just not achieving success. So we're going to talk about flexible goals today and perhaps encourage you to rewire how you think around this idea of flexible goals. You know, moving levers up and down the path to create some flexibility in your life. So we are going to welcome in my friends. Yes, we are. We're going to welcome in Mr. John Anderson and Mr. C. Marty Fit into the lab. Good morning, gents.
What's up?
What is going down? It is a beautiful Friday morning.
That's it.
I feel like I was just talking to you guys.
I think we might have just been talking a few moments ago. Yeah.
Something like that.
And of course, we always have the incomparable Enzo joining us from the future. What's up, Enzo? Nobody has anything to say.
No, I thought you were going to keep going. You know how
well, you usually read what he's got to say. So we're waiting for what Enzo got to say.
I love it. We got Enzo. Check me a text with a microphone and camera to get ready to host. You got it, my friend. You got it. You're on the business plan, page 4. Speaking of, what got your business plan, Enzo? I saw it in the replica jerseys. That's a pretty good idea, man. I kind of like that. I like that. So Antonique Vincent's joining us here in the lab in a few moments. We're going to get into goals and so forth. Gents, I met Antonique on Threads. Yeah, one of my first Threads followers. And you know what? I just learned? Dude, she wasn't even following me till this morning. I know. I'm like
Hollywood.
Marty. I'm like, what the heck? And I was getting the show set up this morning. I'm looking for her in my feed. I'm like, yeah, well, I'm following her. I'm like, what the hell? Can't find her. I walk into the lab.
Well, John Anderson didn't follow me until the day before the show, before yesterday's show, before he had to interview me.
But back up here. Back up. You know, I'm not the only one that mans that ship. I got a team of people on this. So this is like, I had to personally go and like, okay, let's put it, because I don't follow a lot of people. So I had to personally go to get you in the group.
I appreciate you. I feel honored. I'm honored.
Yeah. Hey, Marty, you got to think about this. So John took his very famous finger. You know the finger that lifted up the Giants over his head, the finger that pinned Giants on the mat, the finger that lifted his heavy weights in his whole lifetime. And he took that finger, Marty, and he moved it onto his phone, like the finger that a lot of guys want to have autographed. And he's like, oh, I'm going to go find C. Marty Fit. And then Marty, he took his finger and he clicked follow on your name.
I feel honored. If you want to hear the story, I tried to find him and I couldn't. So I had to reach out to one of the team and said, hey, help me with this task. I know this seems ridiculous, but this is why I have you guys to make sure that I can do what I do, because I don't do this technical stuff well.
Yeah,
Grandpa, we got you, man. We got you.
It's true. Yeah, Marty. So listen, I had a meeting with John a couple of days ago to catch up on a couple of things, and I learned that we got to have like a 60-minute meeting for the first 38 to get the tech set up, so that John and I can spend the next 22 figuring out how it works, and then we can have a 1-minute meeting when it's all said and done.
It's all good. Me and Keith's meetings are basically just BSing.
That's it. Hey, Marty. But I will say though that now we have John in the lab. I don't know if John's now the OGG or old Triple G compared to the actual OGG. Like I said to OGG, I said
no. Okay, John goes to OGG. Maurice goes to OGGG.
This is true. Yes.
That's what it's the hierarchy.
John's going to meet the old double G one day. So John, my business partner, Maurice Ginger out here, we call him the old double G here. And he's just a couple years older than you and I. But it's funny, John, because your tech expertise makes the old double G look like he's actually probably like a tech guru.
Mo's pretty good with tech.
Like we discussed and we were talking the other day, Keith, is that basically I came in, I'm like the hybrid because you had you being the entrepreneur that sold a company for big bucks, 50 million. Yes. You had Marty, he basically is the fitness guy before I showed up, right?
Yes.
Then obviously I've been training longer than the fitness guy's been alive. So I'm the hybrid because I'm an entrepreneur. I have many successes in business. I've had many successes as an athlete. So I'm just this.
You're the hybrid.
So John, he promoted OGG. He promoted Mo. And then he demoted me as the fitness guy because he got more knowledge than me. So you know, John, you throwing us off, man. John, get out of here.
Hey, you know what's got it's you got to shake it up to change the trajectory because changing trajectories and shaking stuff up is what gets us. It's like the turbocharger.
Yeah,
you can't leave things the same. You got to keep mixing it up.
Oh, geez. Hey, Marty, I think I got knocked down too because, Johnny's done some business stuff before. He's done some athletic stuff before. So I'm like, well, damn. I'm like, I feel like I've been knocked down.
Yeah, he knocked you down too. He messed us up.
But hold on. I've had some great business success. I've created a couple 7-figure companies, but I've never gone into what you're talking about, which is, you were halfway to 100 mil.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Enzo coming in with, I have a lot to say, just too tired to type. It's okay, Enzo. John's doing all the talking for you, so we're okay with that this morning. So we got Sarvina joining us here as well. Good morning, Sarvina. Boom, boom. Yeah, there we go. It's okay, Enzo. It's okay. One day, John's going to take that famous finger, and he's going to say, all right, I got to go find this famous kid from the future in New Zealand, and I'm going to go and follow him. So when that happens, Enzo, you can come celebrate, and then we'll stop calling. Listen, I know Johnny loves being called the grandpa because he's a proud grandpa. I've gotten to know a little bit, and I know he loves being called that. And I know that if his daughters are listening right now, they're thinking, oh, my God, Dad wants us to have more kids. Oh, yeah, he does.
I can promise you none of them are awake right now. I can guarantee that. I say that with all confidence.
It's early out there, man. It's early.
Oh yeah.
So Marty, since we inadvertently have been on the picking on John Anderson train this morning. So yesterday, we know 2 days ago Anderson was supposed to go paddleboarding, and I have his vision in my head. Hey, Marty, like what's this? Like what does this big massive man look like standing on a board? Well, I got a text yesterday, Marty, from his lovely wife, Terry.
Let's check it out.
And I have an image that I'm gonna put on the screen here. So check this out. So there's the man.
Hey,
that's it,
there he is.
Look out, baby.
There he is.
That is solid, man. I got the text and I was like, look at that, man, dude. Like that's a specimen on the board.
Yeah, I got to try that. I never tried it before.
They have the stores for like when the big and tall when you don't fit into clothes. Well, that's the big and tall version of the board right there. Because if you get
your shoulders wider than the board,
yes.
You get an undersized board under you, man. It is no fun, man.
Oh man. Good morning, Walter. Good morning, brother. Good to see you in the feed this morning. I know you're rocking and rolling over on the Mornings in the Lab page, and I appreciate you, Walter. That is awesome. Uday, good to see you here. I appreciate you joining the feed this morning. And then Uday's asking, she suggests a workout split targeting every month for 6 days a week, please. You know what? I have a recommendation for you. Go find John on Instagram. Go find him on LinkedIn, or go find him on Instagram. Go find him on X. Go find him somewhere and drop him a note. And I know John would love to help you with that. So.
Go into Instagram because I make sure that I go in there for sure every day to connect with people. The other ones, it's not as often. So if you want me quick, hit me on Instagram.
There you go. Enzo coming in with beers on me when that day comes. Yes, Enzo. We're all going to get on the plane to come to New Zealand so you can buy us all beers one day. Enzo, it is inevitable you know that it is inevitable that the three of us are going to end up on your part of the world one day because you've been part of this thing since day one. So I just don't know how, as part of the plan, especially with flex goals, Enzo, that we don't end up doing something over there in New Zealand with you. So let's just keep that in the future for all of us. And paddleboard racing is absolutely hardcore. I've never done that before. Have you paddleboard racing, Johnny Anderson? You know about that?
No. Are you kidding me, man? I'm all show no go on that board, brother.
You're like I just got to figure out standing up there, Enzo. Never mind racing.
Yeah. I mean, you guys see, you saw me right there when there was no boat wakes coming, but shortly after that, one of my neighbors actually was wakeboarding, so he came by, threw some big old waves, and you see me paddling like a mother to face those waves. You know. I made it, here's the thing. I made it all the way out around the island and back to my house. Now, granted, it's a small lake, so it's not like I'm going to Catalina Island off the it's not like I'm going off the West Coast. But what I'm getting at is that paddleboarding is a challenge, man, in terms of dealing with navigating waves and all. It's great balance.
Marty, I paddleboarded once in San Diego, and Lauren and I joke because for I'm, as we know, I'm not the tallest man on the planet, but I'm also not maybe the smallest.
Nope.
Exactly. So they gave me a sheet of plywood for the paddleboard. It was like, all right, let's give the boy the biggest sheet of plywood that floats so we can stand on it. And even that didn't work the most effective. So 13 minutes after our morning show hour here, the only morning show on the planet, Mornings and Allowed myself, Marty Fit, John Anderson, the show to get you guys going. My goal here is to get these drop-ins every 9 minutes because we know that's the snooze button. So if you're laying there right now, you're kind of in between the gap. If you had a 7 o'clock wake up and you're on your second snooze, you got 5 minutes till it goes off again. So if you're listening to us laying there, get going, man. Get your ass out of bed. You got a lift in front of you. Go for a walk, John.
Check this out. We got it for those of you listening. That's a great piece of a starter advice from my man here. But here's what we do. We're gonna just, this is a tip to get rid of that snooze button. You're gonna take your phone and you're gonna put it in the bathroom. You're gonna put it someplace where you got to get on your feet to go turn that thing off.
You heard the man.
Then you can listen to us when you're walking out to make your coffee or what. But listen, the snooze thing is just, we got to erase that from society.
That's it.
Some people will sleep right through that because they just don't want to get up. I've seen
a bigger alarm, man.
It's funny. So I love Lauren. I love her to pieces, Marty. But it's funny, man. She's a beast with the snooze alarm. I'll come into the bedroom there, and the wrist is just vibrating away. The clock on the stand's vibrating away, and there's my lovely bride just sleeping away.
I'm telling you, our wives were cut from the same cloth. I hear Terry's alarm going off about 8 o'clock. She comes wandering out about 9:30, 9:45.
Wow.
I don't think Lauren's listening right now, but that's funny because. But then yesterday, Marty, Johnny, she's like, I got a big run. She had a big run yesterday morning. Oh yeah, no snooze, just get out of bed and go. I'm like, what the heck, man? It's like, she
was pumped. She was pumped for the run.
She was pumped for the run. Hey, listen, we have our guest patiently waiting in the green room. She's been hanging out waiting for us. I think at this point in the show, we probably should bring her in. But I think what I'm going to do before that, I think I'm going to do that, Jimmy. Jimmy, are you there, Jimmy? Oh yeah, Jimmy's there. I see Jimmy there. I think, guys, I'm going to do the accountability check-in. I'm going to stay to the script this morning. We're going to do the accountability check-in, Jimmy, and then we're going to welcome Antonique Vincent into the lab, and then I'm going to drop my voice to the lower FM radio voice this morning instead of the sultry sounds of morning radio. And then we're going to get into a big conversation with Antonique about who she is. John, Marty. John, we're going to introduce Marty and Antonique because they're both in Maryland, just up the road from each other, I think. So we're going to have some introductions happening, and then we're going to get into a discussion around flexible goals, smart goals, and helping people get their day started. It's the start of August, the start of the end of the summer. People are thinking about how they're going to tackle the end of the summer, so we're going to get into goals here today. But before we do that, guys, John, Marty, I am going to... There we go. Do this. Yep. Jimmy, you can take me off the horizontal screen. Thank you, sir. And I'm going to talk to this camera right here. And I'm going to say this. Here comes the hook. Here comes the hook. Did you know about this? Did you know this about your brain? Did you know this about your brain? It's got a battery life, just like your phone. And if you understand how it works, the old brain, the old noggin, as my old hockey coach used to say, the old kidney between the two ears, if you do understand how it works, you can be absolutely more productive. Every decision you make, nation, it drains you just a little bit. That's why pre-decisions matter more than ever. And if you recall our friend John Anderson, he's like, no, make the decision the night before. Because if you make the decision in the morning, you're probably going to be tired and you're not going to make the most effective decision. So think about this. Here's the science behind how we think. Decision fatigue. Too many decisions. You're thinking all the time. Do you have a daily uniform you put on? The same t-shirt, the same jeans, the same jacket? That's an option. Plan your non-negotiables the day before. Because that cognitive load, too many options make you uncertain. You ever sit down in front of Netflix going, what am I going to watch right now? Yeah, that's cognitive overload. But if you decide the day before, we're going to sit down tomorrow and watch this, when you sit down and do it, you're ready to go. Imagine sitting down the night before, having your clothes laid out, having your protein powder, your creatine ready to go. You're like, all right, when I get up tomorrow, I got a backlift. When I get up tomorrow, I got to run. There's no decisions to make. Maybe you had a crappy sleep. You wake up in the morning like, oh, I'm tired. No. If you've made the decision the night before, you're more than likely to follow through on the decision the day of. So put that routine, that willpower aside, because that willpower, it can run out too. So save it for the gym. And resist those bad snacks like this peanut butter cup on my desk and just keep looking forward. So my suggestion, nation, is this. Try some pre-decisions. Think about what you're going to do the night before. It might be the answer to the productivity you desire. That's our accountability check-in today. We drop it every single day around this time, unless we're talking too much. Marty, John,
yes, sir.
And our new friend in the lab, Antonique Vincent, who's joining us here this morning. And I'm going to bring the old applause. There we go.
Thank you.
What's up? What's up?
Good morning, Antonique. How are you?
I'm good. How y'all doing?
Awesome. How are you doing?
Good.
Welcome to the lab. Welcome to the lab. Welcome to the lab. Your first time here, but you told me in the pre-room, you're like, yeah, it's kind of got like the morning drive vibe to the show.
Yeah. So first of all, wait a second. Let's back it. So slight shade was thrown because I woke up this morning and just followed y'all. I have a busy life, like so many people. So, and I think that as I'm getting older, I have like a little bit of an adult ADHD. So,
So why should you be different?
But no, but so here in the DC area, we used to have, I mean, we still kind of have it, but we used to have a lot of like the morning drive, morning shows, and they don't have the same zest that they used to have in the 90s. So I really like that the way that y'all do this, it's giving me, it's nostalgic and it's giving all the vibes, and I'm here for it.
Awesome. I like
She
that.
sounds just like you, Keith, when you talk about it. That's exactly the same thing you say.
It's true. It's true. Well, so Antonique, I don't think Antonique's as ancient as myself or O-double-G here as O-triple-G is. So, but I love that she's leaning into the nostalgia of this, because I know that when I talked to her in the green room there a little bit, or actually, Antonique, when I texted you on Threads, you know, before you were following me, you said to me, OMG, the production. And I was like, yeah, we're trying to put on something fun here in the morning. So I'm appreciative that you recognize that what we're trying to do here. And before we get into it, I'm just curious about your opinion. Antonique, you said that there's morning shows over in the Maryland area there. Are they just duds these days or what? What's changed for you, do you think? Or are we just old now?
I think part of it, so I'm not afraid to say that I just turned 35 and I'm still fine. But I think that what it is that a lot of people have lost the true art of being on the radio. It's not fully the same. So I listen to now a lot of the OGs. So here in DC, we have like Frank Ski in the afternoon. Donnie Simpson just retired. Like we used to in the morning on Hot 97. 99. I don't even think that they're on the radio. But to me, I guess it's just a little kiddish. And again, that's showing my age too.
Yes.
So, y'all not talking about real things and having fun with it at the same time. Everybody's kind of a little sensitive. Because like remember back on the radio, like in the morning time, they would just some wild stuff. You're driving, and you're whoa, like where's that?
Yeah.
It's too sensitive.
Well, that's the ambition, right? I know when Anderson heard the show, he's like, "Hey, I like the vibe you guys are creating here. I kind of feel a little bit of Stern happening here." And that's what I grew up with, Stern, Letterman, like all the old school late night stuff too, right? So a little bit of Jon Stewart political kind of crap, but not.
Yes.
I'll just throw it out there. I wonder if we've just become so woke as a society where we can't have morning shows like we grew up with, because just too many people are scared of what somebody's going to say. Now, I'm not suggesting we're here to ruffle feathers, but we're here to have some fun. And and I've said this before, and I know John and Marty agree that if you don't like what we're saying, let's turn the channel.
Exactly.
Like,
It costs nothing.
No.
Unfollow.
Yeah, exactly. So, gents, let's put Antonique on the stage. I'm going to introduce her to you guys because I want. So Antonique Vincent's a fitness pro with a twist. She got over a decade in the fitness industry. She's seen it all. Big gyms, corporate wellness programs. But dudes, she's lost over 80 pounds naturally herself.
Good for you. Great job.
Dude, that's like a human. You've lost like a human. 80 pounds from your big. You lost an 80 pounds. We got to hear that story. She's a body inclusivity advocate. Antonique is passionate about showing that health comes in all shapes and sizes. She believes that you can enjoy life's treats and still be healthy. She's a workshop master. She's known for workshops, Johnny, like breaking up without burnout. And Marty, finding the magic in your insecurities. She redefines wellness with practical, inclusive approaches. She's really? Antonique, you're a corporate wellness consultant? Okay, next point. She's a personal trainer. No, I'm kidding. She's a corporate wellness consultant. She crafts wellness programs for businesses, offering everything from group classes to wellness events, personal training coach. And she's most importantly, John and Marty, she's a wellness enthusiast. And anybody that can make the commitment to a goal of losing almost 100 pounds, that is a wellness enthusiast to me. Antonique Vincent, congratulations to you on your journey in life. And I want to welcome you back up onto the stage here and welcome you to the show. Gents, how about that intro for Antonique? Johnny, Marty.
I'll tell you, that's quite a list of accomplishments and what you're doing. My hat's off to you. Anybody that can take and show how you did it and, help the world understand that it can be done in a way that is flexible, as I believe we're going to be talking about, is pretty cool.
Very, 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 very much so. Very much so. Did I miss anything on the intro there, Antonique?
I'm trying to figure out where you got the intro from because I didn't send that little deck over. So that was a great introduction. And it's always good to kind of hear those things about yourself because I don't run down like all of the things that I've accomplished and all the things that I do enough. So to hear some of those things, it's like, oh, I did do that. Oh, I do that. So that was really awesome. Great introduction.
Awesome. You're getting some congrats from our other co-hosts from New Zealand, the future. We got Enzo joining us here as well. Enzo's always offering commentary from the future, and I always like to throw this out here. It's the running joke here, Antonique. But if you ever need advice from the future, you just reach over to Enzo because he'll tell you what's going on. Good morning, Sarvina. I don't know if I called you or not, but good morning, my girl. Good to see you in the show here this morning. And of course, in the vertical stream here, we have Mad Curtin asking the topic today. Mad Curtin, we're talking goals. We're talking this whole idea of putting SMART goals aside. SMART goals were born before John Anderson. They're born with the factory. We're here to talk flexible goals here today. Talk flexible goals coming up in a few moments. And just eat 3 times a day. No, I think we'll eat 6 or 7 times a day. So that's our plan. Marty, what was your thoughts on Antonique's introduction? And have you guys crossed paths, Marty, in Maryland? I know Maryland's a small little place. There's just a couple roads. So you guys cross paths?
Well, it's not really
a big place.
Yeah, I'm about to say, it's definitely overpopulated here. But no, the intro was amazing, and I feel like the best coaches are people who have walked through the shoes, put themselves in the situation where they had to make a transformation, and so it's probably going to be great to hear your perspective. So I'm looking forward to it.
It's excellent. Antonique, tell us a little bit about yourself. As you know, we threw their intro up there, but play upon those words. Tell John, tell Marty, tell myself a little bit more about yourself. What gets you going? What pays the bills Monday to Friday besides the fitness stuff? Shine the light more on Antonique Vincent.
Oh yeah, definitely. And also, I didn't even tell you how to pronounce my name, and you pronounced it perfectly spot on. I appreciate. Yes. So
Thank you. Thank you.
No, but I'm just a girl from gorgeous Prince George's County, born and raised in Maryland. I have my certification from the National Academy of Sports Medicine. Always, y'all, make sure that if you're looking for a personal trainer, that they are certified. Please make sure they're certified.
It's something I preach faithfully on my platform.
Listen, it's so important. And I also have my master's in exercise science. I'm fitness
Very
through
nice.
and through. That pays my bills Monday through Friday. I'm actually just got promoted to head coach at Orange Theory in Washington, D.C. So I'm kind of like the fitness director for my studio.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. But no, I think I always call myself a regular suburban girl. I like to eat carbs. My mother is Jamaican, so we eat a lot of yams and plants, rice and peas. But I think what I have learned being in the industry and growing up as a plus size girl, it's tough. It's tough out here. And unfortunately, in our industry now, like Marty was saying, you have a lot of people that have these fitness platforms that don't have the education, they don't have the certifications, they don't know what they're talking about. They're just regurgitating what somebody else said. And what I love to give people is the why behind it. Like if I'm gonna tell you to do squats, I'm gonna tell you why. Not just so that your booty gets fat, but I'm gonna tell you why you need to do it, you know? Podcast host. My podcast, the Redefining Wellness Podcast, helps people to redefine the way they view wellness one episode at a time. I love Chipotle. I love gummy bears. I like to travel. I love the beach. I don't know. There's so much about me. I'm also a part-time pet sitter. So people pay me to be in a house and watch their pets. So many hats, just like John. I wear many hats.
It's awesome. John, Marty, questions for Antonique before we get into it?
Well, first thing I got to say is as you open up, the can of your life, you can clearly see the passion that you have for everything that you do. And I just want to say that right there people need to understand that that's really what we're shooting for. When you can get up and live your day in a way that when you can describe what you do and you smile like you just did, that is wealth right there.
Yeah. Yes, thank you.
Well said, John. That's awesome. I those are encouraging words, man. I love that. Marty, questions for Antonique?
Absolutely. So what made you choose fitness? What made you go down that path? Well, you say you got your master's in exercise science? Okay, yes. So you probably made that decision a while ago. Yeah. So what made you go in that direction?
So what's funny is that originally, when I was in high school, I graduated high school in 2007, and I was going to go to college for psychology because I thought that I wanted to be a sex therapist. I was going to help people with their. I know, out of the box.
You were thinking about this in high school?
In high school.
Oh man. That's beautiful. I got
alrighty. Okay.
I think to myself,
first time to hear this.
I was saying in high school, I wasn't having enough sex to understand if I wanted to try to teach it.
Granted, I wasn't having any sex at all, but I loved watching, and I'm going to show my age.
Dr. Ruth?
I loved watching Dr. Ruth. I would stay up late and watch her at night. And I just loved the information that she gave, the education that she gave. And I was like, wow, people really struggle with this. I want to do this. And then I told my mom, she was like, so what are you going to go to college? What are you going to major in? So I said, this is what I want to be. And she said, psych. No, you're not.
Oh my God, this is
your mom's Jamaican too?
My mother is Jamaican. So
does she have the Jamaican accent?
My mother still has her accent.
Oh yeah, I can see it right now.
Yes. So, and we didn't tell my dad. I think my dad probably knows now because he's listened to my podcast before. But No, I was not telling him. But when
Antonique,
I got
Antonique, real quick, when you were saying, I used to stay up late and watch, I did not think you were going to say Dr. Ruth. I had a completely different vision in my mind.
Dr. Ruth was my girl, and she just passed away. Like when I saw that, I was like, no.
Did she really? Oh no.
Just passed.
She did.
Yeah,
Yes, she did just pass. You're absolutely right, Antonique. Yes.
Yes. But so I told my mom that, and she was like, no. And then she also said, psychologists don't make no money. Psychologists don't make no money. So I was like, all right, okay, we'll figure something else out. So, but I did think about going into physical therapy, but I found out that to go to physical therapy school, you have to take gross anatomy. And I was like, I'm not touching a cadaver, so I guess I'm not doing that. And so, but the college that I chose, they had exercise science. And when I learned a little bit more about what you can do with that degree, one of them being stage 3 and stage 4 cardiac rehab, and I did my internship in that as well, I really fell in love with the connection that I made with people, especially helping them get back to who they were before they had their stroke and they had their heart attack, and getting to know their story, their whys, and helping them to be better. So I kind of just ran with it after that.
That's exceptional. That's exceptional. We're joining here this morning at 33 minutes after the hour. We're talking with Antonique Vincent, the presumed sex therapist as a teenager who has now become a fitness coach. We're just looking for sound bites here in the lab. So Marty and John, we have not had a guest like this dropping these bombs for first thing in this morning. So I would love to have seen your mom's expression when you said to her that, I'm thinking about becoming a sex therapist. Like her facial expression must have been just one for the ages, Antonique.
So it's funny. So me and my mom, we are twins. We are copy-paste twins. Dad and my brother, copy-paste twins. So I remember when I told her, she just said, "Cha," and kind of turned to the side. So when most Jamaican people, when they suck their teeth, it's not always a good thing. So yeah.
Too funny. We got a mom joining us this morning, and I'm Marty John, who's one of our regulars as well. Good morning, everyone. Happy to see you all again on the podcast. Come on. Listen, dude, I got to correct your brother. This is not a podcast. No, we don't. Podcasts are made for people that want to inform and bore. Sorry for Antonique. No, we do show. We entertain and inform. So if you want to go put a podcast on that's recorded and boring and old and dated, go put the podcast on. But
edit it.
And edit it, exactly. You want to come to the live shows. That's what we're doing here. So I'm kidding with you, brother, but I want to hug you all with Keith, Marty, and Sir John. And I know I love John that Anam's giving you the tags, Sir John, and all the things that we bring up here in the lab for you here. It's awesome. And you are coming to us thousands of miles away. I know you are, and I appreciate seeing you in my LinkedIn feed, and I appreciate seeing you here every morning as well. Good morning, Bill. Bill's also joining us from somewhere on the planet. And of course, we have I see that, to Enzo. Thanks for the I see that I'm a little bit cropped up there. I will get that fixed up here in just a second. But gents, I thought that we would keep our conversation going. I found something that I thought I'd throw into the table before we get into the topic of our goals here. I found something, especially John, this is great, man. This is going to be great for you and I to talk about with our friends here. I didn't realize that Antonique was only 35, but I found something this morning, Johnny. So this is going to be for the OGG and the old Triple G here to throw back to our young friends. John Anderson, 15 life skills people under the age of 38 never learned.
And you're gonna list these bad boys off.
Oh yeah, I got a few ones, man. I got a few for us to think about. Yeah. So Johnny, did you know that Antonique and Marty have never learned how to navigate a map?
Psych, I have.
Yeah.
Okay, I see what we're talking about. We're going into the age thing here. We're going into what the younger generations have not experienced.
We're gonna have some.
Not me.
We're gonna have some fun here.
I used MapQuest. That was my introduction to maps.
Oh Jesus, MapQuest too.
MapQuest.
Oh my God. So MapQuest for Marty. Here's another thing, Johnny. So people under 38 and 35 don't know how to sew, Johnny.
Psych, yeah. I do.
Oh, look at that. Look at that. I can
My
sew.
mother's Jamaican.
Yeah. This is true, I guess, right? This is true. All right. So that's not working. So people under 38, also, where's my tab here? Also, Marty. Oh, here we go, Johnny. Not good at being a team player.
That's not true. That's not actually not true.
Yeah.
That's not
Well,
true.
but here's the thing. See, we've got Marty and obviously Antonique. These are people who have kind of stepped outside the norm for their generation. So these aren't really going to apply quite to them like we thought, because if they were too much of their generation, they wouldn't be here with us today.
Well, this is true, Johnny. So what we're saying now is my bit is slowly dying in front of us. Okay, we'll try it again then. We'll try it again. John,
You're 0 for 3, Keith.
Do you think our friends shop in the stores, or does Marty and Antonique only use their devices to shop? Because kids under 38 do not shop in the stores.
We love shopping in the stores.
Enjoy going to the store.
Yeah.
Keith, you're 0 for 4. Get it together.
Whoa.
We're going to keep going here. I don't know, Anderson, because this
Let's
one
keep going.
We have
Brother, it was just all in the setup, because if you'd set this up and talked about their generation and not pointed the finger directly at them, you got a fight on your hands now, brother.
I guess you're right. Yeah. All right. So Anderson, apparently these two kids can't cook from scratch.
I'm going to say Antonique's going to eat that one up. She's going to stuff that one down your throat real quick, brother.
Hey, man.
I can't. Also, I don't know what Marty's going to say, but
my mother is
Antonique,
a retired
she's
chef,
putting that.
so.
Antonique's putting that one deep in you, brother.
Oh my God! Enzo's telling us all to just go for a leak, man, because I think I've started a bad trend here. So, all right, here's another one, Anderson, for our friends. Ready, Johnny? Do you think our friends under 38 are good at minding their own business?
Oh, hell no.
I mean,
yes.
Come on, man.
Okay. There we go.
No, you didn't get one. Listen, I do my thing.
Mind my business, but most people
Marty,
don't.
you're talking about minding your own business. Your social media is nothing but you poking your head into other people's business. That's all you do is take a video about somebody else and make a big rant.
Now that they put it on social media, that's not their business. I'm not going to their personal life.
True. But the idea, hold on. What was the statement, Keith? Was it keeping your own business or not going into other people's? What was the statement?
It was people under 38 do not mind their own business. They're too opinionated.
Minding your own business means you're not looking at other people's stuff, brother. That's a big part of your soul. You got to own this one, baby.
Well, let me defend myself one more time. People send me most of that stuff. First of all,
they send it to me. You can choose to look at it or not.
True. And second, I'm addressing issues that I've actually experienced with clients in real life, and I'm just shining the light on it. Now,
he's raising awareness.
Hold on, John. If I didn't have the intent on helping and educating, I wouldn't care what them people do. So.
Okay, so real quick, so that video that you went on and on about, it was a room full of women doing some sort of yoga humping exercises. I just saw
that video. Ooh.
So you're gonna tell me that was some sort of your big effort on that was helping society?
Well, let me explain. nothing against the ladies, Antonique, but a lot of women are going to these classes expecting results, and it's not going to happen.
But my question is, what kind of results are they looking for? I look to me like they were getting the results they were after, which is what they were doing right then and there.
Looking for the weight loss.
I don't know. Something tells me
that ain't gonna make you lose that weight. Trust me.
If you're gonna go in there and start bumping uglies, with someone else for the next 45 minutes, I don't think losing weight is your primary concern.
I'm gonna tell you this. You might not believe me. Antonique, nothing against the ladies, because we're just talking about the ladies right now. I've had women come up to me saying that I'll be like, did you work out this weekend? They'll say, yeah, I worked out. I had sex this weekend, or they went to a sex class. And I'm like, that's not a workout.
Heart rate really got up.
Right.
Wouldn't that have a little bit to do, depending on your partner, if you got to work out or not?
That's the point.
Come on now. I mean,
this guy. Where'd you find this guy, Keith?
Right, if you're doing it right, you're breathing hard, you know?
Well, hey, 11 minutes ago, our guest here dropped the fact she wanted to be a sex therapist. So we have to.
Yeah, what do you think, Antonique? If you're doing it right, are you breathing hard?
She agrees with me.
It's a double-edged sword. I mean, the thing is, most y'all are not breathing hard. Y'all not even elevating your heart rate. Your Apple Watch not even being like, "Hey, are you exercising?" Have you ever had that happen? You accidentally have on your Apple Watch and you doing the do, and then it's like, "Hey, are you working out right now?" You're like, wait.
She did lose 80 pounds somehow.
You know, there's nothing. Listen, physical activity is physical activity. You want to enjoy your physical activity, so let's go.
Oh my God, we are off the rails first thing this morning here. I got to post some comments up here on the side here. We got Bill with a question. I'm going to give you $50 if we can answer the question below. Bill, which came first, the chicken or the egg? Well, I think we're going to ask our sex therapist, Antonique Vincent, which came first, was the chicken or the egg. But that's the question here in the lab this morning. And Marty and Antonique, I got to tell you, we're talking sex. Like for old guys like myself and Anderson, like any kind of movement just closes the rings for us. Right. So, that's why going for a walk or doing things like that's closing the rings. Right, John?
Absolutely.
So we are continuing our conversation about our friends who are under 38, what they have not experienced in life.
Yeah, man.
Well, real quick, maybe their friends under 38 haven't experienced getting a workout in the bedroom.
Oh, man.
Most haven't. Most haven't.
Let's add that one to the list.
She lost 80 pounds, man. I think she might have a secret. Listen, she lost 80 pounds. She aspired to be Dr. Ruth. She's a fitness human. I'm thinking there's something going on here behind the scenes, guys.
Brother, I give you that. There's always the outliers. We're talking about the masses here. We're talking about, there's, again, if Antony, if she was like her generation, she wouldn't be here. She's one of the outliers in a good way.
This is true.
So picking up books from the library. Marty, have you ever been to the library before, brother?
I have before, years ago.
Yeah, I have a library card. Yeah, I used to go to the library every week.
And in school, we had to go to the library, pick up books. Try again, Keith.
Okay. Here's what. Okay. Anderson, I know I know for sure these two have never experienced this, brother. I know for sure they haven't.
Let's see.
Have you guys used a rotary phone before?
Oh, yes, I have. My grandmother is still walking on this earth, and she had a rotary phone.
Dude, well, you're from
Hold on, what's a rotary phone?
Exactly.
Hold on. What is it? Hold on.
You have to put your finger on the number, and you have to roll it around like you go.
Oh yeah, I'm not even joking. I've used that before. I never heard the term rotary phone.
Where did you find one of those, Marty?
First of all, at a family member's house, at one of my older family members' houses.
Okay, there we go.
No longer living.
There we go.
Oh man!
That was the one where if you were in trouble and you were calling for help, you were dead by the time the last number came around.
You're out of there.
Rotary phones are insane.
Oh my God. Well, so hey, Anderson, did you have the party line growing up? Like, so when you were growing up like myself, like, with your mom and dad, did you guys have like a party line at your house where the phone rang once, it was your house, the phone rang twice, it was your neighbor's, the phone rang 3 times, it was one down the road? And then you could listen to everybody? No,
I never had that, but
that's some Canadian stuff.
We were also
that's only in Canada. I ain't never heard of that.
Yeah, that's a new one for me too. But I was isolated. They kept me away from. I didn't have a TV. Wasn't allowed to talk on the phone.
What y'all got going on up there?
Well, so this is how it worked. It's like a party line system. So the phone rang once. It was for my mom and dad's house. If it rang twice, it would have been for Antonique's house. And if it would have rang 3 times, it would have been for Marty's house. But here's the thing. I could pick up and listen to your conversation.
What kind of cult are you living in?
That's definitely some Canadian-ish right there.
This is like
that's Canadian. You do that in America, they're gonna catch you talking about the neighbor. It's a wrap.
Oh my!
It's a wrap. They're pulling up to the house.
This is exceptional. All right, so here's one for you. So I'm thinking that you guys you've used the watch before because Apple Watch has kind of become a thing, but. So I'm not going to strike that one. Here's one. Socializing. Do kids under 38, John Anderson, know how to socialize, or are they too busy doing this?
Oh man.
I think that me and Marty probably do, being that our profession, you know what I'm saying? But a
Yes.
lot of people I've noticed, and I was talking to a girl about this last night, a lot of people do not know how to have a conversation. And it is
Yes.
frustrating as
Ooh.
hell.
Yeah.
Expand on that, Antonique. Expand on that.
It's like, so if you're talking to someone, like, there's no eye contact, there's no, like, no one knows how to go a little bit deeper. So, like, for example, I take the metro into work every day, so I
Yeah.
might ask somebody, because then everybody got their daggone headphones in their head. So, like, a lady had on sneakers and I wanted to ask her about them, so I'm like waving her down like I work in the airport, and I'm asking her about the shoes, and she looked so uncomfortable. Not uncomfortable, but like awkward. And I'm like, dog, I'm just asking you where you got your shoes from. I did not ask you who you was sleeping with last night. I asked you how much your paycheck was. Like, people are so standoffish. It's like, ugh, it's kind of cringy.
It's
It's
crazy.
That's why dating culture is the way that it is now. Like, yeah.
Well, I think we're going to get into dating culture, sexualization of gym culture. I think we'll have to have Antonique back to that conversation in a couple weeks here, Marty and John. We got Enzo joining in with, I don't know, I'm up till 1:30 a.m. watching the show with these old men. I know that's my comments. I don't know how to socialize because he's watching his phone for 2 hours. This is true. Okay, here's a couple one for you guys. Oh, I'm curious about this one. Millennials under 38. Are you guys good at forgiving family?
First of all, I forgive too much.
I do as well. Yeah.
And then it gets to a certain point where I kind of just cut you off because
Yeah. But we're also in this culture where they're like, no new friends, and oh, they're jealous of you, and oh, blah, blah, blah. Relax. It's not that deep. But I think because we're in this very like me society, no one knows how to just say, it's cool. Like, I can forgive. I probably won't forget, but let me just, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like nobody knows that saying, forgive and maybe forget. I don't know. But
Johnny?
It's like the way I look at it is this, if I'm going to make a mistake, I can't judge you for the mistakes I'm making. And that is missed what I believe. We all make mistakes.
Yes.
And the judgment that's thrown around in today's world is it's crazy, and it's just getting worse with the lack of communication person to person. It's like, it's so easy to make an insult to someone when you have zero connection to them.
Right. It's the lack of compassion and empathy that I think we're experiencing today.
I think so as well, frankly. I think, well, you know what? We like to have fun on this show. I will just say this. Your statement, Antonique, relates to what's just happened in the last 4 days in the political landscape in the United States, with one of our candidates getting on stage and questioning what people's race and skin color and all that is, and just that lack of empathy in that question itself. So we're here to have fun and not making a judgment. But those comments like that make you go, huh? What did you just say? Did you just actually say? Okay, anyways, we're talking 15 life skills for people under the age of 30 that never learned. And Johnny, here's a couple. I know that our younger friends are suck at this. There you go. I'll say it. Suck at this. Repairing used items. Marty, have you repaired anything used, or you go get the new one?
I like to repair stuff.
I
like tasks. I like doing stuff. That's
All right. Putting family first. That's one. And then here's two that I want to kind of really lean into. Are humans under 38 good, John Anderson, at picking themselves up by the bootstraps?
Ooh,
Not as much anymore.
Yeah, I totally agree with Antonique. the general, the mass population.
You heard my story yesterday.
Yes.
The outliers are like these two are going to do it. And that's what, that's the thing with their generation. It's so easy to separate themselves because nobody's got the nuts to keep getting up after they fall down.
Nobody has nuts.
That's crazy.
But I think it also is too that for a lot of people that are millennials and younger, you don't have that example of somebody picking themselves up by the bootstraps also,
Oh.
or their families don't further reinforce that having self-accountability. So like my mother's an immigrant, so she had to pick herself up by the bootstraps. And then with my dad, he, you know, he also he had to do it himself, you know, coming from his background. So my parents were very big on instilling like, you gotta get it how you live. You know what I mean? We're not going to coddle you the entire way through it.
Yes.
You know, and I think that is what one of the big problems is, that a lot of our generations and younger are coddled so much to the point. Like it's stop coddling. Stop coddling.
It's the helicopter parent that won't let the kid. Like I told my girls, I said, look, I'm going to let you fall. I'm going to let you make your mistakes. The only time I'm going to break your fall is if you're going down so hard, it's going to change the trajectory of your life that we've been working so hard to get going in the right direction. Other than that, you're going to take your lumps. That's how you learn.
Yeah.
Right. Or even one of the things. Oh, go ahead, Marty. My bad.
Go ahead, Marty.
Okay.
You good? I was going to say, we talk about it on the show about the participation awards. It's like you complain that you're not winning. You complain that you're getting your butt kicked. Now everybody gets a gold medal. And then I don't know if you're familiar with Dana White, owner of UFC. He said this is the easiest generation to get successful in because everyone's soft.
Yes.
You know, everyone's going to quit. Everyone's going to complain about it. So
Antonique, you're going to say something?
I just think that, you know, one of the things that John was saying about the way that you raised your girls is kind of similar to like how my dad raised me and my brother. Is even to this day, my brother just turned 30, I just turned 35, and we know like when we're in a jam, the last person we gonna call is my dad. Like we know if we call him first, it'll get fixed immediately, but we gonna hear some ish about us asking him for help, right? So we have this philosophy of, man, I'm not trying to hear his mouth. Let me just try to figure it out myself first. And then if I have no other way out, like, damn.
That is perfect. That's perfect. That's perfect.
I wonder if something's changing in society, because I hear you two folks talking about that things are too soft, you know, Antonique and Marty, and you hear John and I agreeing with you, and there's a generational gap here. I had a conversation with my son, Marty. You met Carter here a couple weeks back, and
my guy.
Yeah, and I had a tough chat with him, Johnny, Antonique, because summer had just started, and I was like, so what's going on? Like, you know, sleeping in until 10:30, 11:30 just ain't gonna cut it. You're 17, like you're closer to 18 than you are a kid. Like it's time to start thinking about work and time to get going. Chop. We had a pretty. I'm gonna say we probably had a very difficult conversation in 2024, John. That probably I don't think a lot of parents have these days. There was no coddling, Antonique. It was a hard conversation between dad and son. That was probably a very similar conversation that my dad had with me 1,000 years ago. And John, maybe like your family had with you, right? That I just don't know if it's happening here much today. We had the conversation. I know it had an impact, and then it went away. Well, a week later, Lauren came to me and said, hey, I was talking to one of Carter's moms and said, hey, I heard that Dad had a chat with Carter. I was like, yeah. And I heard that it was a hard one. And the comment was, too many of our kids are coddled. They need to have more chats like the one that Dad's having with Carts. So I'm wondering out loud, team, are more parents looking to our 17-year-olds, our 20-year-olds, our 18-year-olds to maybe bring them back to some of the things that we grew up with, Anderson, which is not the coddling, fall, hurt yourself, get up, figure it out, you know, and I hate the word the toughness, but teaching kids to be tough again, maybe. I'm trying to choose words.
Learn how to work for it. I mean, when I was 17 and I had summer vacation, I started working in the summertime when I was going into my junior year of high school because I didn't feel like sitting in the house with my parents all day. I was like, this is dead. And then too, my dad is very like, when I was coming up, especially for girls, it's like, I want these certain kind of clothes or whatever. My dad was like, I'm not paying $55 for a pair of jeans. He says, you better figure out how you getting it. So I got a job. I was
Similar
like, okay,
situation
you're not
here.
buy it for me. I'm going to get a job and get it myself. my parents didn't get me my first cell phone. I walked around the house like this, begging them for a phone for a year. And then when I got my little job, I got myself a phone. And then they saw that I worked so hard to get a phone. They got me a phone on their phone line. You know what I'm saying? So like, I think that unfortunately our generation, because we're very big on, oh, I don't want my kids to feel like how I felt. I want them to have all of the things that I didn't have. So I'm just going to give it to them without all of the blah, 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 blah. No. That's why, no shade, they 18, 19, 20, and they sit in the house sleeping until 11 o'clock. I didn't sleep till 11 o'clock. I woke up and I heard Anita Baker on a Saturday. Guess what we was doing? Cleaning, taking out the trash. You better not be asleep till 8:30. My mama just walk in the room and just be like, when I still in that bed. Dang, it's Saturday.
Gents,
but they
who
need that.
Is this scary Antonique here? Because I think she's just maybe reset Marty, Bilous, and John down a notch. Because I don't think I'm scared of scary Antonique.
No, I'm not scared. I love it. And I want to bring up another issue too.
Well, let me sneak it real quick, Marty. We got to remember she's talking about getting up early, getting it self. Let's remember she was also up late watching Dr. Ruth. She was burning the candle on both sides.
She was.
Marty, what were you going to say?
I was going to say we got to stop acting like the 18 to 22 or 23-year-olds are kids as well.
Yeah.
People will be like, they're kids. It's like, no, if they commit a crime, they're going to big girl jail. And it's like they have a degree. They have a driver's license, so they're on the roads making decisions, instant decisions. Yeah. So these are adults. We got to stop coddling. So I agree with you, Antonique.
Well, one thing too that I think that's happening here that we haven't really addressed is these kids are acting a certain way, largely because their parents are doing something pretty damn similar. The accountability from our parenting is not there. Kids don't give a damn what you say. They care what you do.
Yeah.
So when you got a parent telling your kid, oh, you got to do this, you got to do this, and that parent's sitting on his fat ass doing nothing, what do you think that kid's going to do?
Do the same thing.
Exactly.
I love it. Nation, you are tuning in to Top of the Hour. Keith, C. Marty Fit, John Anderson, and our brand new guest this morning, the hard ass herself, Antonique Vincent. She's here crushing stones, putting value, putting truth on the table here this morning. Mean stoned? No, this isn't Scientology. This is Lifeology with Keith, Marty, John, and Antonique. If you're under 38, this is an uncomfortable conversation for you this morning because we're calling you out. We're telling you that you guys, because here's the last one before we wrap it up. We're going to have to get into our conversation around goals here in just a moment, guys. So, Jimmy, here's how we're going to set it up. We're going to wrap up the segment. John's going to go for a pee. Marty's going to do his fitness segment, and then we're going to get into our last chat. We're going to close up the show around goals, smart goals, flexible goals, and so forth. But the last one, guys, it kind of segues back to picking themselves by the bootstraps. Under 38, not good at toughing it out. I think we all agree.
Man.
I can agree with that.
Yeah.
I can agree with that.
Yeah.
There we go.
I deal with so much of that with clients. It's very sad, just no type of mental toughness,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting because I love being a soft life girly, you know what I'm saying? But and I'm sure y'all have had, I don't know if y'all have had that soft life conversation yet, but just see. Oh, okay. Marty, you probably hear soft life a lot because that's a trend in
oh God. Don't even get me started. Don't get me started.
I think you need to educate myself and Anderson on soft life. I think Keith and John are like, what? What the hell are you guys talking about here?
I know John's
That's probably
intrigued.
a millennial thing.
I'm listening, man. I'm listening. If I'm quiet, because I'm listening.
So I'll give my take, and I would love for Marty to give his take. But basically, soft life, especially for women, it's so like you're living it's not even posh. It's just I don't work hard. I don't do things that are dirty.
Oh my
I
God.
don't, I'm living in a space of calmness, Stop. No. The way that social media portrays it though, and the way that some people have ran with it is very ick. It's very like, that's not what soft life is. But because so many people are running in this, everything has to be handed to me. Everything has to be given to me. Why am I not receiving? Why isn't it happening for me? You ain't go outside to make it happen. Just like when people come to, me and Marty, and they're like, well, why haven't I lost my 5 pounds this week? Well, what the hell was you doing this week?
Then they get to stuttering and lying and
right. The mental toughness, like people, I think so. I think the era of social media kind of has made that mental toughness go away.
Well, what's interesting is that we live in a world of niches now, and as John and Keith are listening to you guys speak, John, like she's actually talking about a niche now of society, which is the soft life. Because if you could find 10,000 other, just pick a random number, John, if you can find 10,000 other people that subscribe to your soft life analogy, well, there's your niche community of soft lifeness. And then it just perpetuates itself, Marty. Like, it's just actually quite ridiculous when you think about it, right?
Well, it sounds like there's different layers of this concept, meaning that the people that digest it properly, and then the people that digest it in a way where they just don't have to do shit in their life.
Yes,
that part.
Yes. One part of the soft life I don't understand. I've dealt with this with potential clients.
Hell is soft life.
They get their groceries delivered. Now I know we're in the tech age, right? And people get their groceries delivered, but if you're struggling to burn more calories, if you live in a sedentary lifestyle, right? Why would you not go and walk around the grocery store? Like, that's the last thing you need is to move around less. So the soft life stuff is getting crazy. I need to talk about this on my podcast. Soft life posts coming on social media soon.
What the hell is soft life? This whole term, like Anderson and Bilous here, who grew up like back in the 1700s, are like soft life. Like, what is that actually a term, Anderson? That you and I are being taught right now about soft life, Johnny.
Yeah, just the term soft.
I know.
There. When I think of the term soft, there's not a lot of avenues it goes that I want to follow.
One day, y'all need to do a topic to kind of dig deeper into what is a soft life. What, you know what I'm saying? Because some people got it twisted.
Well, I can tell you that we're going to have another conversation. You're going to come back for it. It's going to be, the first hour is going to be sex life with Antonique. Second life is going to be soft life with Antonique.
Well, here we can know one thing for sure. The people that are subscribing to the soft life are not getting their exercise, their sexual activity.
Oh no, they are having sex in the soft life.
Yeah, that's part of the issue.
And you know what? I just want to call this out because Lauren's saying what I'm thinking. She knows me well. I'll listen to you all day, Antonique. And you know what, Antonique? You are quickly rising on the ranks here of Marty. She's quickly rising to this.
Yes, I can give her the GOAT. That means you're at GOAT status for the guest on the show.
You are.
Everybody doesn't get GOAT status, even though Keith tries to hand out the GOAT to anybody.
We had to kind of swat his hand a little bit when he was reaching for that button. We're like,
he's just giving everybody the GOAT button.
If you give that out all the time.
It's like a participation trophy. You can't do that to guests.
That's it. Okay, so the host has to get it back into control here. Here's what's going to happen.
My bad.
Here's what's going to happen here. Johnny's got to go to the bathroom because I know him well.
I do. Yes, I do. I got the brakes going wide open right now.
I love this show this morning. So we're gonna
cut me loose before I start dribbling here. Let's go.
my God. So John's going to release himself to the restroom. We're going to do the See Marty Fit tip. Antonique's going to go recollect herself. And then we're going to come back and we're going to get into a discussion around why you want to get out of SMART goals. You want to get into flexible goals. And we're going to help you guys think about this idea of achieving these ultimate goals as we wrap up the back end of the year here, nation. So that's what we're going to do. So Johnny's going to leave. I'm going to take John off the stage. We're going to do that there. I'm going to do this here, this there.
Let's get it. We got the fitness tip for today. Let's get into it. The difference between hitting your fitness goals and feeling stuck. It's keeping track of your progress. Here's why it matters. Accountability. Writing down your workouts keeps you honest and committed. Motivation. Watching your progress builds momentum and keeps you motivated. Awareness. It helps you see patterns, like what times a day you're strongest or what exercise worked best for you. Sometimes it's just a matter of trial and error. Adjustments. You can easily spot what's not working and make quick changes to your routine. Now, a lot of people like to use the word plateau. And the issue with that is if you think you plateaued and you haven't put the work in, it can lead you to quit. It can lead you to try a quick fix, and it can definitely lead you off of your path. A lot of times you just got to make an adjustment. Drink more water, eat more protein, more vegetables, heavier weights, a little more cardio, maybe a little less cardio. Simple. Consistency. Consistent tracking leads to consistent results. It helps you stay on track even when motivation dips. Use a simple journal or a fitness app to record your workouts and how you feel. Keep it clear and honest. Tracking isn't just about the numbers. It's about owning your journey and making real progress. That's the fitness tip for today.
Wonderful, wonderful. That's our See Marty Fit tip of the day. We drop them every single day here in the lab. It's something to keep you guys moving, something to keep you guys shaking, something to give you some thoughts around as you start your day with us in the morning. Antonique, how's your first episode with us so far?
It's great. Y'all are a vibe. I'm having a lot of fun here. And I love that y'all are not afraid to talk about like stuff.
No, that's the ambition here. We're trying to push we want to kind of keep pushing the bar, right? We want to keep pushing it to levels of fun here. And I just wanted to check in on our friend Enzo if he's still awake. Oh, Enzo's still awake. Yes, biology lessons at 1 a.m. with Keith, Marty, and Antonique, our new special guests here on the show. And, so we're going to get into a discussion. Sorry, guys. We're going to get into a discussion here now on the show about our key topic. And the key topic here on today's show is, and Imam says, thank you for the fitness tips. Thank you, Imam. If you haven't connected with Marty on LinkedIn, I invite you to do that. Christopher Martin over on LinkedIn. And Christopher, you guys need to connect with Antonique as well over on LinkedIn. So we're going to get into the topic right now, guys, around the ultimate guide to setting and achieving goals. I know that we're all goal getters here. I am, Marty is, Johnny is, and Antonique is. And I want to get into the danger of SMART goals. Now, I grew up with SMART goals. I know John did. I think society has largely grown up with SMART goals. But I believe that they have limitations. And I believe that there's a lot of danger around them. You know, they've been a staple of goal-setting frameworks. But John, and I look at you, man, I think they often fail to address the reality of life, the dynamic nature of life. I think when SMART goals were invented, they were invented with this whole, and I'm looking at you, Anderson, because we're the same age. They were invented with, okay, take your lunchbox, go to the shop from 8 to 5, take your checklist, figure it out, go back home at 5 o'clock, and then you get on with the day. When we now live in a world, John, where, you know, once 9, 10 o'clock comes and everybody's day gets on, there's just constant movement, and the structure, I think, needs to move to flexibility. The rigidity eliminates your ability to have some flexibility. So, John, I've lived a life of flexible goals. You know, which I have my main target, but as I go through life, I'm pulling levers, less here, more here, less here, allowing me the flexibility to achieve that end goal. Anderson, your thoughts on flexibility over SMART and structure?
Well, here's the thing. I think to have this conversation, there's an element that needs to be brought into the fold that many people don't look at. Everybody's goals, which is great. Mm-hmm. But what people need to look at first is their standard. What is the standard of how you live your life? Because if you have a standard, you're going to be going through your goals, whether you call them flexible or not. How do you live your life? And when I say what's your standard, what is your standard for your daily rhythm? Do you handle your business every day, whatever your business is? And this is your own, everybody creates their own standard. And if you have a standard that works for you, that aligns with how your goals are kind of laid before you, it takes a lot of pressure off this situation about what we call the goal.
Absolutely. Antonique, I saw you nodding your head as we were talking about flexible goals and structure and so forth. And I saw you even nodding when John was talking about it. Talk about, before I throw to you, Marty, talk about this idea of flexibility over rigidity, Antonique.
I think it gives more room for growth. When we keep ourselves in a box, where else can you go with it? You know what I'm saying? But also it kind of reduces that anxiety that comes with, oh my gosh, my goals look specifically like this and I have to hit it this way. And no matter what's going on, it has to be like this. But again, we have to let life do what life is going to do. Life is going to life regardless of our goals. So we have to know, how do I make my goals fit within life versus making life fit within my goals?
Absolutely. With Shake and Enya, thanks for joining us here this morning on the show. And a hello, Project Sun. I see you here as well. And anybody tuning in the comments, I'm going to keep doing my best to call you out. I know it feels awesome when the host calls you out on a live show. I know I enjoyed as well. And I see a lot of you in the feeds here, and I appreciate all of your commentary, including you, Enzo. We're going to keep doing the best we can to weave you into the show. Marty, when you're talking to your clients and they're sitting down here, they come to you with a goal. They're like, Marty, I got a goal, as Antonique said, right? And in their head, they think it's got to be this structure. But Marty, talk about teaching your clients about finding joy in the process of achieving the goal. Talk to me about how you talk to your clients about the psychological benefits of focusing on the journey rather than just the end. And you and John talk enough with your clients about don't focus on the end, don't focus on the end, don't focus on, focus on the daily habits, or as John says, habit stacking. Marty, talk about finding joy in the process of working towards goals.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm big on accepting the fact that you're gonna make mistakes. You're gonna mess up. You're gonna miss a meal. You might have a cheat meal. You might have one too many drinks. You might miss a workout. You might oversleep. You press snooze and accidentally. It's part of the process. You have to continue to make sure you're putting in 1,000% effort into the goal and into the journey. Because unexpected things are going to happen, especially if you have kids. Kids might get in trouble at school, might have an accident, kid got in a fight. I've seen everything. So it's okay to mess up, but you got to be able to get back on track. You can't let that momentum from the mess up and end up turning into falling off completely, right? I had one client, I don't think I brought this example up, but she had a great first 3 months of the year, and then she decided to go on 3 trips back-to-back weekends, all in I think it was like New Orleans, which, you go to New Orleans, you're eating, right?
You are eating, baby.
You're eating. Orlando, amusement parks, you're eating.
You eating.
You know what I mean? And there was another city, and she kind of hasn't been on track. That's what I'm saying. She hasn't been on track since then. I'm not trying to pick on her, but I'm just saying the momentum can easily lead you down the wrong path. So it's okay to mess up, go have some fun, indulge a little bit, but you got to be able to stay on track.
Yeah. Johnny.
Yes. It kind of goes back to what I was saying with standard. If you understand how your standard of how you want to live your life, which is really how you live your day-to-day life, then you don't really focus on the goal. You focus on how you live your day, because how you live your day feeds into that. Yes. And if like Marty, if your client's standard was to continue to make progress, she would have made some slightly different choices where she was going to go travel to. And so if you look at your standard, when you focus on the path to get to the goal, that's what takes the pressure off the goal.
Yes. That's really well said, Johnny. And go ahead, Marty.
I was just going to say, and focusing on winning one day at a time instead of where am I going to be in 30 days, or where am I going to be in 60 days? Just win today. win today, then it's going to be easier to win tomorrow, and that's how you build that streak. My bad, Keith.
That's good. That's great. We get to I am Enya AI reacts here as well. She says might have some caffeine and beta alanine too late in the day and didn't sleep last night. And I'm watching you guys. Thanks for hanging out with us. I appreciate that. Eating like a mofo, bro. Yeah. Hey, I ate like a mofo last night, man. I just crushed food last night, boys. I just was eating and eating and eating and eating. I was like, I feel like I love it. Just eating last night. Antonique, talk about with your clients detaching from outcomes. This idea of detaching from a specific outcome to reduce the stress and anxiety during the journey.
So I definitely agree with what Marty said about taking it day by day. You know, I try to get my clients to focus on what were the successes of the day? What was the feeling, you know what I'm saying, that you experienced in your wellness journey for the day? Because like what some people will do is like we're all saying, you'll be like, oh, I want to lose 10 pounds in 30 days. So all you focus on is day 30. That's all you're thinking about. And you kind of go into this space of just like you just get so fixated of what you're going to look like, what you're going to feel like at that day 30. What do you feel like? What you feel like right now? You know, really focus more on that. Focus on the journey. Focus on the wins of the day. Maybe you didn't lose a pound today, but maybe you hit 10,000 steps instead. Maybe you didn't lose a pound today, but you added more greens into your diet. You know what I'm saying? Even looking at, like, I love New Orleans. Oh my gosh, New Orleans is the best city ever. But it's hella food there. So whenever I go on vacation, I do take a moment to assess, all right, I know I'm going to be eating. So what am I going to do? You know, I don't want to say to combat the eating, but how can I focus on my wellness in other areas? You know, am I going to walk a little bit more? Am I maybe going to get in a group fitness class? Do I have that type of access? The day to day is so much better than that big, like, in 30 days, I'm going to do this. And then you have no plan in between.
And it, you know, comes down to just focusing on the wins, not the losses. That day. And I love you said that feeling, because I'm a feeling chaser. I teach people to be a feeling chaser. That thing that made you feel good, let's do it again. That thing that made you feel like crap, let's create a solution so we don't do that again.
Exactly.
Chasing a feeling, man. I love that. That's shit that gives me goose pimples just saying that.
Certainly one thing I've learned from you, Anderson, is that idea about chasing a feeling, right? Because that feeling, because when you create a feeling, it creates an emotional effect, and then you want to chase it again, right? Right. So, you know, one thing that I've learned to use in my language, not only with myself but also in speaking to others, and you've dropped the word a couple times here, Antonique, which is two words that start with an M: maybe or might. When you ask somebody or suggest somebody maybe or might, man, those are powerful words. Like, maybe, Antonique, you could go for a walk today for 30 minutes. I wonder what it'd look like if you went for a walk up the mountain today and got it done in a half an hour. Like, John, I just wonder what it would look like if you touched your toes today for 4 seconds every time you drop the pen. Like, and I love using language like that with people because it makes them think, right? And it allows them to arrive at the own answer themselves. Because when I say to Anderson, hey, Anderson, I wonder what it would look like if you dropped your pen 4 times today and hung out there for 2 minutes. Because he taught me earlier this week saying, Keith, if you dropped your pen and you picked it up, 3 times throughout the day and hung out for 30 seconds, well, you've now been touching your toes for a minute and a half. And you didn't even think about it. So this idea of using maybe in your language with somebody is a powerful way to communicate, isn't it, Antonique?
Oh, yes. And it's a great way to also give them other options and other opportunities to think, like you said, think in a different direction. Because sometimes, especially in fitness, everyone thinks very one directional. I just have to go this way. But no, there's other ways that you can go as well. So like, I'm a traveling girly also. I'm going to Chicago in September, and I've already told my girlfriends, I will be going to Orange Theory while I'm there. You are more than welcome to come. If not, that's not stopping my stilo. But that's perfect. Yeah, you have to plan, and you have to plan for the the things that you don't think are going to happen. You know what I mean? And I think that we get so stuck in, that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. I'm not going to think negatively. That's not vibes, blah, blah, blah. No, when you're trying to achieve a goal, you have to think of, what are all of the obstacles that can come, and how can I move within the obstacles versus going out of my way to push them out? So maybe I could do this instead. Maybe I can, you know what I mean? Like there's so many other opportunities, and I think we as humans tend to limit ourselves when it comes to the different directions that we can go into.
Yes. Marty, talk about intrinsic versus extrinsic motivation. You know, obviously, we know people tuning into our show, the only morning show on the planet that helps you get your day started, 8 o'clock Eastern time. Myself, C. Marty Fit, John Anderson, and today, Antonique Vincent. But Marty, there's people that are like, I wish I was more motivated, or I can find some extrinsic motivation or intrinsic motivation. Somebody who's listening right now, Marty, that just doesn't know how to get there, what kind of advice would you offer that person?
We kind of talked about this all week, me, you, and John, just having that why.
Bingo.
When you're doing things for a why, you know, like if you're struggling on a fitness journey and you have kids, right? You want to, you know, your why could easily be, hey, I want to be there for my kids. I want to be there to see my grandkids, and I want to be active and run around with my grandkids. That's a great why. So when you struggle to get up in the morning, or you're struggling to get the meal prep, right? Think about that why. You're more likely to do it when you don't feel like it, or when you're not motivated to do it. Yes. I don't even believe in motivation. You know,
I agree.
I believe in discipline because discipline, you're just going to get it done, you know?
Yes.
And I love sports. I really respect high-level athletes because of the work they put in. You know, they're doing 2, 3, 4 workouts a day. They're doing yoga. They're getting stretch appointments. They're eating a certain way, hiring a chef, dumping money, investing in their bodies. I look at that, and I know they don't feel like doing it all the time. I know they would love to take the summer off and chill. And they're filthy rich. They could go spend the summer on an island. They can afford to do that. But no, we gotta get to work. So the why is huge.
John, I got a question for you. This is coming to you, pal. So I know you're a master of discipline. I know you teach, you talk discipline, you talk habit stacking nonstop. Mm-hmm. But I'm also going to suspect there are times in your life, and maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm not, I don't know. But there are times in your life where the ugly P word gets in front of you. Procrastination.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. No.
So talk about procrastination, Anderson, and how we overcome it. How you, successful athlete, how you overcome procrastination, how you battle that demon. And then Antonique, I'm going to ask you the same question. How do you battle the P word, procrastination, Johnny?
Well, I mean, it all comes down to, I mean, I like to simplify things, as we know.
Yes.
And, you know, we all have procrastination living inside of us.
Yes.
And so my method to deal with it, and what I teach, is when you create habits, obviously we're talking positive habits. So when you stack them together, these become subconscious behavior patterns that start to have your brain doesn't really think about doing a habit. Your body just does it. Mm-hmm. Your body doesn't have procrastination. Your brain does. Mm-hmm. So when you have a series of habits, I mean, my life is one big rhythm, one big habit.
Yes.
And I can be like completely, you know, not clear, and I can still basically act out my habits. So think of it like that. Your body doesn't have procrastination, only your brain. And when you've created the habits, you don't have to think about those actions. You just subconsciously carry them out.
Yeah. What about you, Antonique? How do you battle? And then how do you encourage your clients to overcome procrastination?
I think for me, when I know I'm experiencing procrastination, for me, it means I'm exhausted in some area. That's what that means for me. So like, for example, I work, I think like all of us, we be working. And when I finally get to do my passion projects that I really want to do, like my podcasts and things of that nature, I'll say, okay, I'm gonna do it today. And then hours go by. And then I've come to realize you're tired, Bibs. You're tired. You need to either eat something, you need to go outside and be in the sunshine, you need to do something that's going to like reignite you, or go back to, I remember Marty was saying earlier in his fitness tip about like the journaling. Go back to that journaling. You know what I'm saying? But also one quick thing I really wanted to jump back into about the eccentric and intrinsic motivation. I really try to get my members and my clients not to focus so much on your eccentric motivators, what your body looks like, what other people think, that outside validation. That's a big piece of eccentric motivation. When I really try to get people to think incentrically, because that also helps them to not procrastinate as much, because then they get all in their head. Like John said, procrastination is a mind game. So sometimes we sit and play in our mind and we're like, oh, okay, I want to do this, but, and then you go through all of the buts, and that negates what you were trying to do anyway, you know? So being more firm about that intrinsic motivation, your inner why, that really keeps you from that procrastination. You have to constantly remind yourself, why do I love this thing? Why do I love waking up early in the morning? Why do I love meal prepping? Why do I love that? More so for me versus how everybody will see me. You know what I'm saying? So that's what helps me with that procrastination.
I like that. Very, very, very well said here. We're kind of to the bottom of the hour here, wrapping up the show here pretty soon here, Nation, with myself, Steve Marty Fit, John Anderson, Mornings in the Lab, and our guest, Antonique Vincent. We're talking goal setting, talking flexible goals, smart goals. And here's the question for my team. Is goal setting overrated, John Anderson? Some would say, nah, I don't want the structure. I want to have an alternative approach to life fulfillment. I would rather focus on my values and principles and the concept of micro ambitions, and that's good enough for me. What's your answer to that, human, Johnny?
I think that goals are a very, very important part of the equation. I think that they've been malaligned on the totem pole, you know, meaning that they're a part of the totem pole, but they're not the primary focus. The primary focus is how you live your life, which then gets you to the goal. You check that box. Your brain will literally give you dopamine saying, do that again, go get another one.
Yes.
But don't focus on the goal. That's where people get all screwed up, because they suffer by comparison. They're not looking at the things that they got to do to get to the goal, and that's what holds them back. So I think goals are extremely important. They just need to be understood where they file into the totem pole of importance to be the most effective.
Yeah, Antonique, I see you nodding away there.
I was going to say, like, no matter what your goal is, like, so I'm back in the dating spaces, and one thing a lot of people don't like asking is, so what are your goals? And people give these really stupid answers. Oh, I don't have any goals. Where the hell are you going if you don't have a goal? Where are you going? What are you doing? It's like getting into a car and you're like, so where are you going? I don't know. I'm just driving. Like, what sense does that make? You know what I mean? So I tell folks, and I tell myself this too, have the goal. Just like John said, have the goal. That's like here's the line where the goal is. How am I going to get to that goal? How do I want my life to look so that I can achieve this thing? Whether your goal is losing weight, or it's getting married, or it's having children, what are you doing to get there? That's the most important part. Not just I want this, and then that's it. I've seen people do that. And I know Marty has seen that. John's seen that. Keith, you've seen that too. I want to lose weight. And then there's silence. It's like, what the, like, you know? So, yeah.
There's a lot of I want to. There's a lot of I want to.
Yeah.
Marty, as we wrap up our conversation on goal setting here, Nation, talking flex goals, smart goals, motivation, intrinsic motivation, extrinsic motivation. Marty, how would you wrap this up with somebody saying, you know what, I really have some big goals. I know what my why is. Marty, how do I get started?
Just take a step, you know, go get the membership, you know, take the flight, you know, just buy the flight, I should say, actually, you know, take the first step.
Because too often,
go ahead.
No, go ahead. Somewhere I had to pause there. Go ahead. Keep going.
Yeah, I think we were saying the same thing. Too often people just don't even go in that direction. You know, I can't tell you how many times people, oh yeah, I'm gonna get in the gym with you. Okay, well here's the payment, sir. Here's the payment link. Make the payment when you're ready, sir. And it's, people just talk about it, and you just got to take that first step. And it's sad. A lot of people they're scared, they're nervous, and they just only think about the negatives, but they don't think about the positive. So what will happen if I take this first step? Will I end up liking the gym? Will I fall in love with the process? Will I look better in these clothes? So.
And on that, to further that, totally agree, Marty. And it goes. We've been talking about something that's literally almost a precursor to what you just said, which is people need to get comfortable with the idea of stepping into an uncomfortable space. That first step is not comfortable. Just realize that's going to be uncomfortable. Just like one of my mantras, it's going to suck, but I'm going to do it anyway. It's real easy to take that first step when you accept this is going to hurt. This is going to suck, but it's okay. I'm going to do it. So when people get a little bit better at being uncomfortable, stepping into the unknown, stepping into being uncomfortable, then it's going to play into what you're saying, and people have much better success with taking that first step.
And I think people as well need to be honest about their fears of success. Some people are afraid of, if we're looking at it from the fitness aspect, they want to lose the weight. They want to have a particular lifestyle, but they're afraid of what everything else around them is going to look like once they achieve that goal. And that's something very real that a lot of people aren't honest with themselves about. Like, I know we've all met the person that says, I want to be a millionaire. I want to have this. And they're not staying into it because they're actually afraid of the work that it takes to get to that space, or what that outcome looks like of really being a millionaire. Biggie told us more money, more problems. You know what I mean? Like, less weight, more problems too. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can lose the weight, all them problems are still going to be there. You might even have more problems. You might have more things that you have to deal with. But a lot of folks are afraid of actually achieving their goals because life around them is going to be different, and they don't want to experience that.
Dude, afraid of that change. They're afraid of that change.
Yes.
That's big. That's big time.
Exceptionally well said. Gentlemen, we had a conversation recently with somebody about this. Was it Robert Hunt, or this fear of or was it John St. Pierre, one of our entrepreneur business guys, who said, hey, when you achieve success, life's going to change. And sometimes we have a hard time accepting that. Right. And I think it's a great way to wrap up today's conversation with around goal setting, smart goals, flexible goals, and this is what we talk about here on this morning show, guys, is giving you things to think about as you get yourself moving, as you get your day going. And we were talking here as goals with myself, Antonique Vincent, John Anderson, and C. Marty Fit. We've explored various approaches to goal setting, from traditional methods to flexible values. The key, though, is aligning those actions with personal values and being adaptable. And most important, I think Marty said it best, guys. You need to know your why. Without your why, nothing matters. Anything John says, anything Antonique says, anything I say, or Marty, nothing matters. So if you have your why, you're off to the races, and it's not going to be easy. So what a great conversation, guys. Wrapping it up on goals here today. We're up the bottom of the hour. We're going to wrap the show up. Antonique, how was your first visit into the lab here this morning?
It's been a great time. Y'all are a great man. I've been on other podcasts and other shows before, and it's not as lively. It's not as conversation continuously flowing. So I really love that. I'm a conversation girl. I love to bring energy, and I appreciate that y'all are accepting my energy up in here.
Yeah, well, we love your energy. We try to bring it.
You had three professionals here, so we do this.
This is what we do. So, Antonique, here's why we wrap up here, and Enzo's popping in with Enzo, Big Show Monday, bring the beers, let's celebrate, and of course, find your why. That's exactly it, Enzo. We always love having you join the show. Morning, everybody who joined the show this morning: Sarvina, Enzo, who else we got here in the comment? Inam joined us in the lab this morning. We had Project Sun, Enya AI Reacts, we had Bill, we had Uday, Matt, Kurt, and we had a whole bunch of people joining the show. So Walter joining the show this morning. You know how we do this, guys. We go around the table to wrap it up and get into the weekend here. So I'll start with you, Antonique. What you got going on today? What do you got going on for the long weekend? And as we head into next week, what's going on today, Antonique, and the weekend?
Ooh, what is going on with me? I'm off off Orange Theory today, but I'm going in to take a class because we have like a month-long challenge going on. So I'm challenging myself to get 26.2 miles this month
Wow.
on the tread.
Good for you.
Oh, the big one is 31.1. I said play with somebody else. I won't be doing that. But it's hot. It's hot down here. I'm gonna probably hang out with my cousins tomorrow. I'm coaching class tomorrow, 8:45, 10 o'clock, 11:15.
Nice.
And then I'm off on Sunday.
Nice. That's awesome. Good for you. Good for you.
Yeah.
Johnny, what do you got going on today, pal? What do you got for a lift today, bud?
I am going to do chest, which I'm quite excited about. You know,
nice.
And I've actually had a little too much coffee, so I'm ready to rock.
Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's go.
Yeah. What do you got up to, Marty?
I got legs.
Nice.
Oh, very nice.
I got legs, and this may be the last time you see me in this setup.
Oh, yes.
I'm gonna do some work at my place. I got some packages delivered. So
nice. Good times.
Yeah,
good times. That's awesome. That's awesome. That's awesome. I'm going to go for my Friday run, which I absolutely hate. So we know how much I hate that, but that's why I do it, because I hate it, and that's what makes us stronger. So nation, you know what we do here on the show. If you hate something, go and do it. Yep. If you are listening to us right now and you're thinking, what am I going to do today? Go do something you hate. Trust me. Trust me. Trust Anderson. Trust Vincent. Trust Marty. You're going to love yourself when it's done. And John talks about feeling. You are going to feel exceptional when you complete something you hate. Trust me. Just trust me. It actually works. And guys, I didn't know this, but gentlemen, on Monday, we might have to have a special show because it's the future's birthday on Monday. So Enzo, we might have to package up a little birthday show for the boy here. I think Enzo's turning 18 or 19 there, Marty. So, you know, we have the next generation of listeners tuning in for the future, and that's awesome. So, guys, great show. I thoroughly had a lot of fun today. Antonique, I loved the energy you brought to the show today.
Thank you. Yes. I had a lot of fun too.
I love the energy. You are welcome back anytime. You might find me knocking on your door often and say, hey, we need some of that Maryland energy coming in here to bring
it's
it
a
on.
Maryland thing, man. I'm trying to tell
I'm
you,
here
Keith.
for it.
It's
also,
a Maryland thing.
Keith, let me just tell you, don't say Maryland. No, it's Merlin. You got to say it like you from here, Merlin.
That's that Canadian accent.
Look, when you pronounce it like that, now it sounds like there is just a couple of roads.
All right. So I got my friends from Maryland here, and
Maryland, not Maryland.
Oh man, this guy. Oh brother,
you gotta take it from.
Come on, man.
You gotta dig with that. You gotta dig Merlin.
Yes. There, Merlin. Yeah, there you go. Merlin.
All right, Uncle Keith's here practicing his intonation with Maryland today. So we're gonna get out of here. Antonique, I'll see you on Threads. We'll see you on LinkedIn.
Yes.
And, we are going to have you back in the lab. So
I'm here for it.
Awesome. All right, nation, go enjoy your day. We're gonna get out of here. Jimmy, here's the sound. See you guys on the weekend.